The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix
destroyed.
it.
It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been bad decisions from powerful men that got men to go to wars and from women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I'd pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you. One of the ways a man...
It's true. Even a guy who's kind of a couch potato, he loves those moments in his life where he feels like the man. And if the woman in his life can give him that, he will be more ambitious and be more productive.
Well, and the things that Andrew is discussing here about the way it's always been or the way that it was in the 70s and 80s and 90s, the truth is that it's still that way. Just because we have some progressive culture that's trying to bend everything in a way that doesn't work doesn't mean it is that way.
Right.
It is lying to everyone and confusing everyone.
Well, it's been happening over the past, 30, 40, 50 years. The past couple generations, especially mothers, are trying to masculinize their daughters. They're feminizing their sons. Stacey did a really cool video on her channel reacting to a Jordan Peterson conversation on fatherhood and how that works for sons.
Yeah, and
women getting in the way of that. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we've probably all seen this at some point where there's a family and there's a young child who's having a behavioral problem, and if dad goes in to adjust that, correct it, impart some discipline, and a mom goes in and undermines what the dad has just done. That discipline, that guidance from the father is the way a man gives attention to his children, especially to his sons.
And how the kids learn.
Yes.
The mother's afraid that the kid's going to get its feelings hurt, so they go in and
yeah.
It's a helicopter
yeah,
parent
and then
type
they
of
let,
thing.
Which makes these boys grow up to be disrespectful little reprobates because they've never, had somebody jerk a knot in their tail because mommy didn't let them. It's turning them into complete cowards and weasels.
So they have that. Then you have the masculinization of little girls, and they're told, just they can be men and they can do anything that men can do.
These women can be SEALs, they can be Navy SEALs, they can be special operators, they can be Rangers and Green Berets. It's all a lie.
It's all a lie,
yeah.
And it's unnatural. All of it's unnatural. And he's right about this, and nobody wants to hear it because it's so in the face, pushing up against everything they've been taught, these young women.
Yeah.
That you are powerful, you are strong, you are independent, you need nobody, you don't need a man. It's not natural. We should need each other.
Yeah, we should need each other. Yeah, absolutely.
It's healthy to need each other.
Yeah.
And be part of a normal society. Like he is saying, we were a team throughout history.
Yeah, we're like yin and yang. So we complete what the other person brings to the table. And it's flipping it on its head, which is why people are so miserable in relationships or without relationships. Because, you know, the statistics and something we were watching earlier saying so many young people, they just don't want to bother because it's miserable. And it's miserable because of all of the mixed messages that are being foisted upon everyone, and especially young people.
Yeah. So, it starts in the marriage where the roles are all mushed. The woman is more masculine than should be natural. The man is more feminine than he should be naturally.
Yep.
So if everybody on the team does the same thing,
it doesn't work.
Then the team doesn't function because there are a lot of things not getting done. It should be a mix of skills and energy and.
Well, and you can't go, oh, this is inherently, I'm inherently a woman, so I'm physically not as strong as my husband, nor do I want to be. I'm going to look to him to do things that I don't want to do. He's going to look to things that he doesn't want to do, to me to do things he doesn't want to do or doesn't have the capacity to do. And everybody's got their lane and their role. We didn't ever have to change these things. There was nothing wrong with a man being a man and being masculine, and a woman being a feminine woman. It's what men love.
But feminists have women completely pissed off and confused, and that there is a lot wrong with that. And they got it to the point where the men started to agree. They went so far with it, they even convinced the men that they're doing things wrong by just being men.
Drives me crazy.
And this doesn't excuse the bad behavior.
From anybody, men or women. There's plenty
not
of women
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
Okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I say, I met this girl. Yeah, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date.
I hate that language.
I know.
The attraction goes from this to zero. Done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices, but men like me who genuinely have unlimited options. We want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status.
Pissing them off.
That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, etc., and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure, da-da-da. It's not even about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G, boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that.
Perspicacious.
I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it. So
That's why you wear
I'm going to give her
shades.
some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better. So I'm going to get a Clementine. Would you like some Clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like.
I asked you a question. Would you like some
I would
Clementine?
love some.
You
Yeah.
want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right. Go on. Continue.
Okay. What?
No, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience.
We know it's a train
other women
wreck
that
so
I've met
far.
as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you.
No, it's because everyone's a selfish asshole.
Yeah.
It's me. Not everybody is disrespectful and mean. In fact, that when guys are really nice to girls, young girls,
The girls crap all over them.
Yeah, they crap all over them. So
why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you? That's like, to me, where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like,
right.
why can't we have transparency? And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it? No man in a million years. Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is going to meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how
Time, resources,
Wrong.
and something else.
Time, resources. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want, I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me. This is the world, and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife, she's pushing a Bentley, she has a kid, she's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
But
you-
she's just like, whatever, don't care, I'm the one who has the money, don't give a shit.
Yeah,
so you
that's
have
not
to
for
sit
me.
there
Yeah,
to a
not
point
for
you have
me
to sit and
either.
analyze the difference. When you're saying disrespect, if you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a
not what
bunch of
she
failed
said.
relationships and fucking loads of dudes. There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid. I'm looked after.
No.
I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem,
no.
he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many.
Maybe a 20-year-old
We
girl.
want all those
I don't
things
know.
and exclusivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
See, this
respected.
is where Tate loses me. When he acts like what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander.
Yeah. On that point, I don't agree with him, but I do agree with him on a lot
I
of
agree
things.
with a lot of other things that he was saying.
But I'm not gonna. I would never throw. I like
So you
99%
can't
of what
cheat,
he
but
said.
I can because
Right.
I give you money. Doesn't that make you a prostitute on some level?
Yeah, I guess so. No, but he's saying, we have children together. I've heard him say, he loves the main woman, truly is affectionate with her, is friends with her, also provides her with, tremendous material comfort and all those things. So to me, love and respect and honesty are intertwined and you can't separate them.
No.
So for him to say she should just look the other way and we're just going to pretend like this other thing isn't happening is dishonest, and there's no integrity in that. So, but there are women who are okay with that. If they're driving around in a Bentley and they're comfortable,
Yeah.
they're cool with that. So he is right that some women
There are some women like that.
that's okay with.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'd rather not have a Bentley, be
Yeah.
comfortable, provided for, and
Yeah.
also know that I have loyalty and true friendship.
Yeah, that you
and
don't
we're
have to
not,
share your man every 6 months or so with a 19-year-old.
we're not stabbing each other in the back and doing things that we wouldn't do in front of each other.
Yeah.
And that's just that. And I don't think that that's an unreasonable take.
Right.
Female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. So end the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
Like, you
ask-
have to bite the bullet.
But more mild examples, though.
Wait. I have a question. Is there ever cheating that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point where she?
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So,
that's too
like,
far.
if he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
all right,
far?
all right. So
Yeah.
first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar. So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
I think he is a man of his word. And I think his word to his women is, do not expect exclusivity from me.
Yeah, and if you're going to lead with that and that's what you have and everybody agrees to it, I mean, I think it's a destructive way to live your life, but there's plenty of destructive ways to live your life. It's up to
Right.
each person, though.
There are more destructive ways than that.
Yeah.
It's just, again, not for me. But he is honest about it and
Yeah.
upfront about it.
You
If
know
you're
what
going to
you're
get in a
getting.
relationship with Andrew Tate, you know that you may feel like the only woman in the world when you're with him alone. But know that when he is out of your sight, anything goes.
Anything goes.
Right. So obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman, right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that, right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home. Took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me. Status. But it's stupid to females. I get it. But that's the male world, because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why many.
Yeah, it's hard to accept, but it makes sense. It makes them feel.
Look after your man. Make him not want to cheat. I mean, there's something to that. I'm sorry. I know a lot of women will be like, "Did you just say that?" But it's true.
Well, yes. I mean, right. You want to, but you also, I do think that people are cut, for the most part, from a certain cloth. They make mistakes, they do this, they do that, but like, usually, people who are getting into a marriage, like, beforehand what cloth you're made of. The man knows what the wife is made of, the woman knows what the man is made of. 10, 20, 30 years go by, some shit might happen, people go off course, but for the most part, if your guy is that guy all the time.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yes, who needs that? You can tell if he's the guy that every time he gets attention from another woman, he's like, he's getting all crazy with himself. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I said all that really to kind of get to your point about, yes, if you treat him right, if he's the guy that is really generally the good guy, yes, you can keep him from even wanting to cheat by being good. You don't want to be an asshole to him and then push him into something that he might not have otherwise done.
Yeah, and it's paying attention to the connection that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not neglecting at any point the connection that your husband's going to need.
And taking it for granted.
Yeah.
Taking him for granted. And men take women for granted.
Absolutely.
And they stray for that reason because somebody else gave them some warmth or attention.
That made them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
It does.
And it really all is at the core of not taking the time to be with each other.
Yeah.
I think. Right?
Yeah, it's easy to do.
A little bit. Just a tiny bit. Just don't look at his phone.
So
and you'll be cool. You'll be cool.
So,
just make sure the bills are paid. He does his job as the man.
What if you can pay your own bills, though?
But this is it. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat on you.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter.
So I have heard it said that men who cheat are only interested in a sexual encounter. Mm-hmm. And that women who cheat have to be emotionally involved with another man, and that's so much harder for the man to accept the woman's infidelity, knowing that she's got a deeper connection, than the man's like, men don't leave their wives. That's like another thing. Yeah, I'm not going to leave my wife for you. This is all about sex. So it's a different connection.
Yes.
And the truth of the matter is that, men give love or time or resources to get that sexual connection and the attention. And women give sex to get that from them.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing because we have different needs from one another based upon our gender, and trying to switch the gender roles is screwing everything up. And he does a pretty good job, albeit somewhat a little more coarse and rougher than I would like to share or say myself, but I think a lot of things he's saying are spot on.
He absolutely. Yeah. And the way a man gets extra hurt because
you give your time and attention.
Because we're getting giving an emotional connection to another man.
Oh yeah.
It also makes it hard for us to understand why a man cheat, because we just assume there's love and true affection.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is, or fake affection. I mean, men will, talk, a sleazy guy will have a mistress for years and tell her for years, I'm going to leave my wife for you and I love you and all this.
And men
on
don't leave their wives.
Men really don't leave their wives.
Very
rarely.
Very rarely. Yeah.
Their wives.
Different game for men, right? So you're sitting here going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today. Fuck it. Someone else. He was rude to me. Fuck it. I'll cheat. He was this. I'll get a new boyfriend. And then you end up just jumping on cock all day and you're fucking done. You need to. The reality is, you have to come a point where you get a guy and he ticks boxes. You're like, you know what? I'm wifey. I got the Bentley.
I never did either.
My bills are paid. That's
so
it.
When would you say? When would you say it's too far? I'm just curious if there's a line that you would like if he spends money on another girl. If he when does it?
Okay, that's a good question.
And second question: do you think that men ever fall in love with side chicks?
Very good question. And this is a long, in-depth answer, but it's a good question. Let me peel my clementine. But no, but it's a good question. Where is too far? I think publicly disrespecting is too far.
Yep.
So you'll notice. Let's take the Moscow G. All right, let's take an oligarch, a billionaire from Moscow. He has his wife. He has the girls he's in the club with. The girls he's in the club with wouldn't fucking dare message his wife. They wouldn't dare step out of line. Like, they know their place, right? So if there's a hierarchy and they know their place, that's one way of doing it. Spending money on a girl, certainly, yeah, because men show love primarily through our hard work, not just through our resource, but through our hard work. If you take a man who's not particularly rich, he shows his wife love by getting up every day, going to work 9 to 5, working his ass off and paying those bills. That's how he shows love. That's why he does it for his wife and his children. Most men are out here working bullshit jobs, carrying trash. They're doing that to show love. So giving money, yeah, that would be a far more scary indicator than just sex. Let me give you all an example. I don't know if you all know my history, but I used to run a webcam business a long time ago. Don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But I had a bunch of girls who used to sit online and talk to guys, and they had laptops, right? This is a long time ago. And I used to sit and say to some of the webcam girls, I'd say, this man who is sitting in and logging in every night and sending you money every day and telling you he's obsessed with you from the other side of the world and missing out on time with his family to sit here and talk to you and send you money, that is more cheating than if he just went out and banged something. If he went out and banged something and came home, then done. But he's sitting here giving you his time, his money, his affection. That's cheating for a man. For a man to sit there and give money and time away, right? Yeah. So you have to stop this idea of sexual exclusivity. Yes, that's for females. That's how females show their love to men. It's not how high status, at least, males show their love to females. And anyone who wants to disagree with me, call me wrong, call me misogynist, whatever bullshit, look at a history book. Every king, every sultan, every conqueror, every emperor, every knight, all of them had maidens, wives, all of them. That's history.
What level of G do you have to be allowed to cheat?
That doesn't make it okay for modern society. And the sultans and all those people did, but the commoners did not.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the people working on a farm and living on a farm together, they were together. They weren't. It wasn't Peyton Place. It wasn't Melrose Place.
Yeah, it wasn't a free for all.
Yeah.
Also depends on the partner you're with. I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for men to run around and fuck a bunch of women. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I'm not.
No.
It's not what he's doing. He's just explaining why the ones who do.
Our sister, let him land.
No, but I'm not. What I'm actually trying to do is describe the baseline unfortunate realities of human dynamics. And I'm trying to explain now to the world that any woman can get a man who will not cheat on her if she's prepared to sacrifice a bunch of other things, perhaps, right? In the olden days, it was different. The world was a different place. It was a completely different place, and it was better. Now it's all fucked up. It's fucked up on every level. And men, especially the high status men, most of them have struggled so hard to become high status. They've been through so much shit to get where they are. It's like telling him, if you climb this mountain, you can go to a candy store. And he climbs to the top of the mountain, and the second he's in the candy store, after one piece of candy, that bitch is saying, no more candy. He's like, no, I just climbed this mountain. I just got rich. I just went through X, Y, Z. I finally got here. I'm finally in the candy store. Now you're telling me I can only have one piece of candy?
Okay.
What man's going to agree to that?
Do you think that men owe a woman loyalty if she was there from the beginning?
Absolutely. They absolutely owe that woman loyalty.
Oh, sorry, sexual loyalty. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Sexual exclusivity is different. Sexual exclusivity and loyalty are completely disconnected for males. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the unfortunate reality.
That's what I was just saying.
I'm telling you, you can get a man. He can go on a holiday, can fuck some stripper, can come home, and you can lie detector test him. Do you love your wife? Would you die for your wife? Would you take a bullet for your wife? He'll pass the lie detector test. He loves her with all his heart. He'd do anything for her.
Has nothing to do with her.
It's just pussy. It's not a big deal. It's different.
He's so articulate and believable in what he's saying that it makes it, hard to then trust any man on earth after hearing that. It makes it seem like we're all just fooling ourselves to think that men can be monogamous. But I do believe that they can, and I do believe that there are men who are just built a different way than what Andrew Tate is saying.
Yeah, I do too.
That can be successful, achieve, provide, and also be monogamous. And that doesn't make them, sissy Mary men. I think it just makes them a different type of men. But as a woman, does it not make it makes me feel like look at a guy and go, oh, can I trust him? To not bring me home a disease?
Yeah. I think that a lot of what he's saying is a certain vein of man. It doesn't necessarily mean all men are that way. And we are hardwired in such different ways. They're driven for sex. We're driven for love and affection. And it's a very different thing. And there is a lot of what he says that whether you like it or not, it's just the reality of the way things are.
Yeah.
Whether you want to hear it or not.
Right. And I'm okay with hearing the hard shit.
I am too.
It is a little hard. It's a little hard for us to chew on.
Yeah, it is.
And accept. But it doesn't mean he's a woman hater. And I can't stand when people just call him a misogynist because you don't like something he said that we should just, throw him in jail forever. All the jail stuff, they had no case against him.
Right.
He's not, somebody commented.
And they certainly weren't throwing him in jail because they think he's a misogynist. They are throwing him in jail because he's a threat to these reversed roles of the genders.
Well, there's a lot that he's, against the Matrix and the people in power. And then they said he was sex trafficking, and he was a rapist, and they had no evidence. And yet you still have somebody on Twitter coming at me the other day saying, oh, how could you, he's on trial for rape. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, but they believe what they're saying, really, and they're out spreading rumors, and they're uninformed, going after this man just because he says some hard shit to hear.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. This was fun. I haven't done a Tate video in a while. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
we
good.
haven't done one together yet at all.
No, that was the first.
All right, guys. Thanks. Drop a sub and like the video.
Follow me on Instagram.
And I'd love to hang out with you on Twitter, so join me there, Mother Sunny. Bye, guys.